While she was on the lifeboat, I've theorized it was probably about 7 hours from what I've read and what she said. And it was very cold there, and the night was so dark that they had to be very, first of all, very quiet in the lifeboat, because if hers was overloaded because it was near the end, and if they had moved too much, the boat would have capsized. And my mom said if it hadn't been for the expertise of the crew people, they probably would not have been able to stay afloat.
How did they keep the lifeboats together?
They kept them together as well as they could. Being a dark night, the boats were going off into different directions. They weren't always sure which direction to go to. So on my mother's lifeboat, they did whatever they could. They lit dollar bills, a hat, any paper, just to give a little flash of light to another lifeboat that was could have seen where they were and come to try to get them together.
And then she was still nearby when the ship actually went down, and in the moments before and the moments after. What does she remember?
They heard the loud, deafening sound as everything turned over, and she remembers the little light porthole lights going down.
And the
from whatever
sound?
Distance they were in their lifeboat.
And the sounds that she heard.
Yes, everything clanging inside of the Titanic. Pianos, crystal, anything that would make noise as it fell, that everything just started crashing down.
What was the worst part of it for her?
Hearing the screams and the cries of people in the water. She remembered that till her dying day. That just was something that never left her. She said they would be crying and screaming. 1,500 died in those cold waters, and one by one they'd be screaming, and it'd get a little less, and then someone else had gone down. And it was just a very, very tragic evening.
And yet you've told me that your mother, who was only 19 at the time, went on to become a woman of great faith. How did she deal in life with this tragedy that had happened to her? How did it affect her?
Probably nobody. Mom used to say, "I can't explain it to anybody. You have had to be there." Like in any other incident, that you can't really know what goes on in the person's mind at a particular time. But she, being a woman of faith, just had learned already in Finland how to trust in the Lord, and I can't say why she was so calm through it. She told me later I could not go through it today, but I wasn't schooled yet in the difficulties of life and how bad things could be, and so she just was not a person that panicked easily at that time.